I'm Mark, and this is the Country Life with Columbus Mark, where I try to bring you a light-hearted look at life in the country. And today, I'm going to tell you what I learned after completing my state park challenge. So, I decided, as a challenge, I would take this van and visit all the state parks in North Carolina. To give you this little book, I think most states probably have something similar, and it has a place that you get stamped as you visit each park. So I thought it would be fun to have this little challenge to visit all the state parks in the little booklet they give you. There's 41 of them. Some of them are state parks and some of them are state natural areas, etc. Most of them are state parks. I'd been to a few, but I was going to revisit every one of them. I started September 2021 with my closest state park, Chimney Rock. I went there, enjoyed it. No camping there. And then from that point on, I mapped them out, planned it around other things, a few visits with other people and places and things I wanted to see. But over the year, I made them all. I finished up at Mount Mitchell State Park, the highest point in the east, in September of 2022. Got every one of my little pages stamped. I got pictures of all the state parks and had a good time. But what did I learn? I learned several things. One, what are you going to do for souvenirs? So I started buying decals. Now I'm telling you, you start getting a lot of them, you don't know what to do with them. So, of course, a lot of them come from places other than state parks. This happened to be a brewery in Hot Springs, North Carolina. But I started having all these stickers and I didn't want to put them on my van even though it wasn't new. I didn't want to start plastering them everywhere thinking how I'd ever get them off or they would start to look bad over time. So I want to thank David, a friend of mine, David, and Cindy, who said, hey, you could put them on your coffee mug. That's what David was doing. And so I started to put all my stickers on my coffee mug. And then I ran out of space on my coffee mug and moved to my water bottles. And then I used up all the space on my water bottles and have started to use my refrigerator. And now I'm still got room on the refrigerator for about maybe 30 more stickers, and then I'll have to think of someplace else. So that was the first thing that I learned. What do you do with your souvenirs? The second thing I learned was, do not trust your GPS. Do not use GPS as your only means of finding the park. I made a few mistakes doing that. So my lesson number one was what to do with your stickers, your souvenirs. Number two was use a map in addition to your GPS. So here's why you use the map instead of just the GPS. I was traveling, finishing up one of my little routes. I'd seen about 3 parks. And I decided I'm going to push that GPS button and see if I'm about to go by one that's going to be close enough to go see it. And so I pushed a button, showed me nearest state parks, and one came up called Occoneechee State Park. I said, oh my gosh, I know that's on my list. I need to go see it. So I took off for Occoneechee State Park. And it was at the northern part of North Carolina. And I'm traveling, and all of a sudden I notice that I'm entering the state of Virginia. And I thought, well, that's nothing unusual because I live on the border between North and South Carolina. I cross it all the time. And I know I was at one natural area in North Carolina that was right on the border, so this made good sense. But as I kept traveling, I noticed I wasn't coming back into North Carolina, and before I knew it, I was at Occoneechee State Park. Well, that is strange, because that's the one in North Carolina. But I drove on up, long winding roads, beautiful state park, to the visitor center. And I went in and I asked the kind lady at the desk, I guess she was a ranger, we're not in North Carolina, are we? She says, no sir, we're in Virginia. Do you need some help? I explained my dilemma. She said, well, you need a map? I said, I might need a map, but I need one of North Carolina. Anyhow, she was nice enough, she gave me one of those decals. It's on my refrigerator right now. I love Virginia state parks. I'll be back. But before I left, she had one little question to ask me. She said, "Sir, do you need help getting out of the building?" I said, "No, ma'am. I'm good. But maybe I need help getting out of your parking lot." And she walked out and pointed in the right direction. Use a map in addition to your GPS. But the third and most important thing I learned was slow down. I found myself driving from one park to another, sometimes 3 in a day. And I would drive in to the first one, maybe got there at 10:30. I would take a little nature trail if they had a short one where I would not get lost. Or I would go visit the visitor center. I would ask a few questions. I would buy my little decal, pretty much at every one of them. Then I would take off for the next state park. And then by the third one, it's around 3:30 or 4, that's the one I'm camping in. So I did that the whole trip. Now my trip wasn't, one trip after another. I spread it out over this year. But I mean, in that one little 5-day period or 6-day period I was gone, I may have seen 10 parks, camped in 3 of them or whatever. But I learned that I was driving more than I was doing stuff. So my new philosophy going forward after finishing this trip was drive less and do more. And that's the one thing that has stuck with me the most. And so since that time, since September, now when I go places, I stay 3 nights or 4 nights or more. I don't know what my sweet spot is, but I know I want to stay put and enjoy things. So there you go. Find a place for your stickers, use a map, and slow down and do more. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark. This is The Country Life with Columbus Mark. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Welcome to my neighborhood, in my van, wherever it might be.